What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Save Data Cast, your irregularly scheduled video game discussion show where we talk all things video games, from news, reviews, to, this week, we're talking our game of the year so far, other than Zelda, probably. I mean, we'll probably talk about Zelda. We made a joke that we weren't going to talk about Zelda and just let y'all yell at us in the comments, but I guess that's not happening. I'm your host, David, and joining me, as always, is our Captain Zach.
Hey, guess what, folks? It is Aperol Spritz season. What up?
It is. I turned on the AC this week. It's finally hot.
Been there.
We also have with us the future that liberals want, Elise.
I forgot that.
It's such a good title. I can't remember when we came up with that, but it's such a perfect title.
Okay, that was it. We also have the Ace Attorney, Pridge.
Good evening.
And we have our little sick boy, Chris.
I can't believe Saving Throw got snubbed by the Emmys again.
Was
That
it
is
out
a pity.
last year?
That is a pity.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
When Chris said
it was-
again, he
it
meant
was-
Tales from Runeterra.
Yeah.
They also should have made an exception.
It's true.
Yeah, they should have known it was coming up.
They should have just slotted. Saving Throw into this year's Emmys.
I can't believe they didn't check with Chris to
That's
make
fair.
sure whatever project he was working on got on the list, you know? It's unacceptable.
Yeah, that's rude. That's rude as fuck.
That's
It
rude.
just seems like common courtesy.
True.
Well, folks, if you like what we do and you want to support us, you can do that over on patreon.com/savedatateam, where at the $2 level and above, you get access to the full FOD channel. At $5 and above, you get your name added to the D&D show Saving Throw that Chris was mentioning earlier, and Raz will maybe scream in your ear more. As well as getting to vote in our variety stream of the month. And at the $10 level and above, you get your name included in this here Patreon song.
Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons. Burger Bun, Mr. Cola Bun, Eddie Cosmo, Dave Hall, Lucha, and Sofino. HSM, Ernless, Crow Knight, Danny, Antilester, Kevin Nation, Shadowed Navi. Witch Tower, Sky, Lockhide, Self Aria, Arky, Forensic, Technic, Cole, JFJ, Mystic, Woody. Leprechaun, Jacob L, Go, Zeppeli, Sheber, Steam, Ryger, Rilla Jolie, Baron Esper, BBC, What, and Sherlock's, Antilister, Sillart, Ami, Borshock. Shrimari, A1, Narwhal, Luigi means me, Diego Garcia, Oh Nice Boomer, Emily. Mega Zero, Big Kerbo, Who Needs to Sleep, Alea, Yakta, Estever, Entropy, Daedric and Seraphina, C, Lumgar, Chrissy, and Tasty Marbar. Dessert Boy Man, Elijah Sly, Rick Rat, Katja, Traveling in a Box, and Snowcat, Conjuring Scribes, Yo Croissant, Fulfilla, Written Word, Shade the Punisher, Sevilla. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all. Gotta thank 'em all, our Patreons.
And we're back. Well, everyone except Chris. There's Chris. Hello.
What happened to me?
I don't know. Your camera didn't load it right away. I don't know what's going on there.
It's funny.
Streamlabs chose a victim, and today it was you.
Yeah.
Were you in this? Oh, I hope you weren't in the song twice, Anna Luster.
You shouldn't have been,
Hey, Illustrator, if you are, we expect our check in the mail.
but I'll go back and double check.
Is it possible? Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, no, it definitely would have been the first time.
Wouldn't be the second either.
No, it wouldn't. The third, maybe, but it could also be the fourth.
I think it's probably the fourth.
Witch Tower also knows that, so probably.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Let me pull up the cheat sheet for the song and see if I still have it on there. Anyway, keep going.
Anyway, folks, I think we're just going to dive into it. So this week we wanted to talk about, like I said, our game of the year so far. It's been a big year for games, and we're technically more than halfway, but basically halfway through said year of video games. So we want to talk about, especially since we haven't been talking about much about what we've been playing lately, like what we think's going to be like our game of the year so far. There's an easy answer, so like shut up about Zelda, but like there's other options, you know?
I mean, do we just want to go a round table and talk about Zelda for a little bit?
I think
we
we were gonna do like a Zelda spoiler chat, yeah. So maybe
But-
keep this short.
Let's just get out of the way real quick. Like, Are you liking it? The answer is going to be pretty much yes.
Yeah.
And is it
So
your game of
good.
the year currently? Why or why not? Go.
Yeah. Because it's great. It's an incredible video game. It's the sequel to a 10 out of 10 game, and they somehow made it way better, and it's unbelievable.
I like Tears of the Kingdom a lot. It probably won't be my game of the year.
Can you clarify a why on that statement?
There are a bunch of things that I think this game did better than the first one. Fixed a ton of systems, powers are overall just like significantly better. I think the way that they expanded the world without going into spoilers added a lot more emptiness even than the original game. That I did not enjoy.
I'll grant you that.
And I didn't
Yeah, I'll
enjoy
grant you
that thing that they used to expand it either. Well, one of the two. You if you know, you know. Like,
I mean, here's the thing. I feel like this game has been out a couple months. Also, everybody and their fucking mother has posted TikToks and videos on Twitter and Instagram.
Can't talk about the depths.
Can we just say that the depths exist? We know that they exist.
Saying the depths exist is not a legitimate.
At this point,
the depths exist, and I hate them. They're not enjoyable, not fun in any way, shape, or form. The only cool thing was how they made the terrain is neat on like a game design level, but it's even more empty than the original world.
Yes,
and even more annoying to get around than the original world. So I'm like, hard pass on this concept. I stayed away from it for basically the entire game until they're like, here's a bunch of stuff you have to do down there. And I'm like, okay, sure. It's fine.
I knew this was going to happen. So I was like, I'm going to pace myself and go to the depths every now and then just to kind of keep knocking things back. And I enjoyed it like that as a little bite-sized bit. But
yeah,
I can understand the argument that the depths overall is not as fun.
Yeah, no, didn't enjoy it. And a lot of some of the powers that they added, I both felt like they made the game better, but made combat worse. In that I spent significantly more time in menus. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like
they somehow made that worse.
Fuse, especially like if I'm an arrow boy, I love using bow and arrow. Fuse made bow and arrows annoying as shit.
Yeah, for sure. The way they did that was
every single time. Pull arrow, hit D-pad, find item, use item, repeat.
To the point where I just eventually just avoided combat, to be honest. And that's not good for a game where I enjoyed the combat in the first one. And there are other parts of combat that I did like, but like the Fuse killed bows for me, and it made melee weapons better, but not not enough for me to be like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
And those are my probable reasons for not making story-wise. Like, hey, this game has an actual story, and
in a couple. Can we talk about that? That story's so good.
Beyond that, not really.
What?
So okay, we're just diverting in the Zelda cast. So my famous complaint, one of my two main complaints about Breath of the Wild, literally no fucking story to be had. You have to buy a separate game to get the story. This one has a story. I just thought it was fine. It was perfectly but I'm not holding that against them. They tried something where they didn't last time, so more power to you. That's totally fine.
Oh, there was
perfectly schmeh.
There was one thing about the story I didn't like big thing, which was, hey, at the beginning of the game, there's 4 things you can do, very similar to Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Story at each one's the same.
Yeah.
And the cutscenes you get, and this is a thing they could have. Like they had a big budget for this game. They had a ton of time on this game. They could have made the dialogue not be identical when you get to cutscenes with the different
for sure.
That's fair.
Partners at each one, and they didn't. Like it didn't evolve. Link's like, oh, this is new every time.
But how many times can we hear what is it? The not the summoning war, the imprisonment war?
Yeah.
The imprisonment war? Oh, so that's what the imprisonment
war. But redoing basically that
what?
same cutscene several times was like, okay, y'all could have put some if checks in your code and changed the text a little bit, and I would have been happy. It would have been a big deal.
On the depths, and the sky as well, I loved
spending a little bit of time on the ground and then spending some time in the air, seeing something cool there, and then seeing like a chasm and going, okay, I can go down there. And I was just bouncing between the three all the time and having just the time of my life.
Also, the sound, the music as you jump into the depths.
That was cool.
Chef's kiss. It's every single time I'd be like, "Boing," and I was like, yeah, let's fucking go. Even though I can't see shit and it's whatever. Like, I might fall into nothing. I'd be like, yeah, we're in it, boys. Let's go.
And like, you're cruising around on the ground, and then you see something cool in the sky. You're like, I want to go there. So you go there. Go to a tower or whatever to get up there, and then you're up there and you get like a treasure map that leads you somewhere in the depths, and then you follow
and
that
it's a
in the
fucking
depth.
miner's outfit. Piece of shit.
What? It's great.
No, it's
Or
not.
it's a really.
I mean, the
cool
miner's outfit's pretty stylish.
It is.
I think we'll cut it off here. I just in general, I think again this game succeeds wildly at the sense of exploration that was in Breath of the Wild, and obviously so many people have talked about the mechanics in this game, just in general being things that people don't do because they're fucking impossible to make work in a video game. And not only do they make it work, but it's also just a huge, sprawling world, and like their physics engine is so good. And it runs on the Switch, which is fucking insane.
That's the thing that blows my mind. Yeah.
I'm still shocked that this thing even runs.
Can it hold 60 frames per second consistently? Of course not. But
No.
it is okay. And
But the Switch can't do that on the menu screen, so like I don't know. So no reasoning, just gut, yes or no. Is it your current game of the year? Everyone go.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
No fucking questions asked. It's such a goddamn good game. Holy shit, it's incredible.
It is not currently my game of the year.
Oh, well, hey,
I haven't beaten it. I also haven't beaten it. So,
do we want to pivot and have Chris talk about what your game of the year is so far?
yeah, I also haven't beaten this one, so that's good. But it's Final Fantasy 16, baby.
Oh my god, wow, this is actually the worst opinion Chris has ever had.
Whoa! Bridge hates this game.
I don't hate this game. It's just the story's so fucking bad it cannot be game of anything.
Whoa.
Well, Chris also said he hasn't finished it, so
That's true. Yeah,
That
I haven't finished it
change.
either. You get 20 minutes in and you know the story's dog shit.
What?
Oh, I don't agree with that.
You don't like Clive, fantasy character Clive?
I think the characters are fine. Just all the dialogue and plot notes are shit I've seen done better elsewhere.
Whoa!
And every Tales game.
Oh yeah, but
that's not untrue.
I've only played one of those.
What, you want magic slaves and how the magic is actually destroying everyone? Yeah, play any Tales game. They all do it better.
They do that.
I will say,
unquestionably better.
going into this, because I didn't know that it was like crystals as a like resource was like a big plot point going into this, and I was like, saving throw.
They did it different, Chris. They did it different.
But Chris, saving throw is written well. Final Fantasy 16 isn't.
I will say, to Bridget's point of the writing isn't that good, is I got like to a cutscene and I went, oh, okay, it's sorry. My system's better. It's fine. And I shouldn't be thinking that about a thing written by like a team of
people.
well played.
No, you should,
writers.
because you're right. Saving throw is better written than Final Fantasy 16. That is an objectively true statement.
But I like the world. I think the game is pretty, considering that it has a lot of that weird FF14 jank to it. The fact that comes off as nice as opposed to, oh boy, is good. Combat's fun as shit, and I don't know. I think it's fun. It's a good game.
It's okay. I've also played Final 17. After shitting on it for a bunch, I'll give my more complete opinion.
Wait, damn, Bridge, you playing Final Fantasy 17? You from the future?
Sorry, did I say
Prince living in
17?
2050.
You did say, but it's very funny.
Whatever. The
Bridge
numbers
of the
don't matter.
future.
Fuck this series.
Okay, so yeah, the game is gorgeous as shit. Every single part of it looks awesome, top to bottom. Especially the cinematic fight scenes; they all look amazing.
Mhm.
Combat in boss fights and mini boss fights is incredible. Really rewards utilizing skills effectively, understanding what your enemy does. Really, really great in boss fights. In fighting mobs, it's okay.
Yeah, he just blows through him so fast, though.
Yeah, mobs are a little brain dead. Not
I kind of like that. I mean, maybe I'll
Not
feel differently.
Not completely. Actually, as the game goes on, enemies start to get a little more, but like, I don't know. I spent a lot of time like watching the enemies not even go to swing a sword at me for like 7 seconds, which is a little much.
I felt like they were overcompensating for there being like more enemies fighting you with the AI.
Yeah. But
and they could have.
I have been surrounded by 5 soldiers who are just stare at me menacingly without swinging the sword.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, game looks great. Boss fights are an insane amount of fun. My biggest problems, I think, again, like I said earlier, I think the story is a recycling of story beats that everyone's done before and everyone else has done better. I think the pacing is dog shit. After every epic boss fight, get ready for 6 quests about talking to people and fetching ingredients. You are literally rewarded from beating a major story mode with just the most boring gameplay ever. Side quests are 90% of them are garbage. And there's a crafting system, but like,
it's so ignorable.
You'll every like 2 to 3 story missions, you may craft 1 item.
Yeah, just every time you beat a big boss, and then you go make a new sword. That's all you need the crafting for.
It's a game with incredibly high highs, but also incredibly low lows, and that's my thing about it.
The quest thing is like, that's one of the things that they took directly from 14, and I wish they fucking didn't, where it's like, after the big quest, it's okay, go talk to people, and it's like, oh my god, Yoshida, stop it. Why do you like that so much?
They
go check in with every character that's affected by this and see what they have to say about it.
There's like a couple side quests that are really good.
Yes.
But they are
10% of them.
They are very much hidden amongst a plethora of shit side quests.
Interesting.
And there are ones that like feel story relevant that aren't just like mainline questy, like which felt weird. There was I've only seen one of these so far. There's this subquest that had like a plus icon instead of the normal exclamation point.
Yeah, those are the ones that actually reward you with worthwhile stuff.
Yeah,
interesting.
So it's just like 14.
It's just like 14. Yeah.
No, it is 14.
I do, and I'll be honest, that's a really good feature.
Yeah,
for people who aren't completionists, tell me what side quests are important and which ones aren't.
But
I'm a completionist, so I'm doing all of them. But I do appreciate that it tells me what.
Rage, don't do this to yourself.
I just had one of the normal ones though. One of the normal ones I just did was like, fuck, this is actually really like it was pretty basic side quests, but like the story implications were fucking rad. And then it's just like, okay, I guess I go do the next dumb thing. And I'm like, oh, okay.
All right, back to the magic race.
Why is... I will say the combat, like controlling Clive and the abilities are fucking fantastic in that game.
Oh, it's fun as shit.
Yeah.
Just
this is a proper
fighting whatever feels great. It feels like an action game. It feels like a Tales game with a budget. Is kind of what the combat feels like.
God, imagine if they gave them a budget. Imagine what we could get.
I know, right? And like, oh my god, particle effects. Square Enix spent a lot of money to make good ones, and they just keep using them. They spent a lot of money making whatever like program they use to create those, and it shows between Final Fantasy VII Remake, even Forspoken, game. Particle effects in that game were incredible.
Find someone that loves you like fucking Squeenix loves particle effects. That's what I'm saying. One thing that actually might keep this out of my game of the year, assuming I like Zelda more or whatever the fuck, I think Clive's design sucks the biggest piece of ass that any protagonist in the last like fucking 15 years
Clive is just
his
that
design
14 Pro tag that Yoshida wanted for forever.
Fine. He's not amazing, but his design is fine.
He gets better, I will say.
Fucking anime boy with a face tattoo and a bunch of belts on.
He gets
His
better.
name is fucking Clive. Yeah. His name is Clive.
The name doesn't even bother me that much, because whatever, we're doing a fucking...
Okay, actually, this is a completely side note. I cannot take an enemy army seriously when they're called Waluders. Yep. Just gonna say whenever I hear that, I'll be like, come on, how have these guys not been laughed off the continent? They're called Waluders.
And then the fucking the spelling is WALOED, and I'm like, that can't be right.
And it's like I'm out here talking to Benedicta, who is Chef's Kiss, fine as hell. And she's like the king of Woolud, and I'm like, no, you can't work for him.
That's also what drives me nuts about Clive's design is that I like Sid and Benedicta's designs, and even
Oh my god, they're
Jill's
so
design.
good.
And then Clive
They're
is just
all
a
so
big
good.
fucking.
Shout out to
I will say his design gets better the longer the game.
who
goes
is the voice actor for Sid?
on. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was like a barrel of like oak bourbon. They just put a microphone.
He's also one of the main characters in Diablo 4, which could be a good pivoting point. And his voice acting is like, yeah, like you said, it is a
wait. Is he Lorath?
Yes. I think that's his name, the like priest guy from the beginning.
Yeah,
Dr. Seuss character?
Ralph Ineson. Laura, yeah.
that's the
he's just
same
like,
guy.
Blah, 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 blah. I can't get near
No,
his
can't
register,
get
but it's
near.
insane.
Wow.
His voice is fucking fake. Like
His voice is amazing.
Yeah, he's got a good voice.
Like he could like
He does not do a lot of video games. That's the
he should do audiobooks.
straight up I know this is a wild statement, but like give me the Drake meme with like rejecting Idris Elba's voice and give me this guy's voice, because it's like,
Oh, don't reject Idris Elba's voice.
I would never, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like it fills the same niche of like bass voice that is just like, I would just curl up and be like, yes, you could say anything to me and I could never be mad at you because your voice is so gorgeous.
Yeah, no, he has a good voice. He has a very good voice.
Yeah, he's having a great year. So shout out to him.
He's the Green Knight in Green Knight.
Wow. Good for him.
Oh wait, okay, you know what? That's a very interesting and worth seeing movie.
The H24 version.
The Green Knight, yeah, the 2021 one with Dev Patel just being unbelievably attractive.
Yeah.
Well, speaking briefly of Diablo 4, because I know me and David have played it. I don't think anyone else here has. I know Save Data's Wes has been playing it. And hey, also spoilers, David. You want to give your disclaimer?
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to shut up. So hey, shout out, guys. I work for Blizzard, so like, my opinions are my own and do not reflect that of my company's.
Yeah, Diablo 4 is a very good game. That's about all I'm going to say about it. I don't know. I think if I played it with a group like I did play Diablo 2, it might actually scratch that original itch for me. I will say the scaling system in this game is unbelievably good. Of like, you can join as like a level 2 character, join somebody who's level 40.
Okay.
And like, you will both be able to fight the same enemies at the same level. Yeah. And like, that's genuinely so impressive. The ability to just hop in and play with whoever is like phenomenal. But as far as the rest of it, just playing it alone, the story is genuinely interesting for a Diablo game, but the gameplay is just, it's still, you slowly over time make the numbers get bigger. And
that's Diablo though, baby.
And that's Diablo. And if you love that, you love that.
So say I liked Diablo 2 a lot. Thought Diablo 3 was fine to okay.
Mm-hmm.
Will I like the 4?
It definitely has more 3 DNA. But I think genuinely, I would love to get like a group of us to play it one night and just like see how we do as like a group of people playing together, because I think it's fantastic. Also, interesting point. I don't know if we've talked about this at all. They're doing this like season plan.
Yeah, they've been doing that with Diablo 3 too.
For sure. And it's somewhat controversial because the character you've been playing up until now, the first season, which is about to start, you can't play in the season. So you have to re-roll a new character from level 1 to play.
What, in the Escape from Tarkov?
What the fuck?
This is how... Okay, so I don't play these types of games. Diablo, Path of Exile, Torchlight. They're not David style games. I have played Diablo.
Busted down David style.
Isn't this your first ever video game credit?
No, technically no. Third? Something like that.
Third? Oh,
second or third, something like that. So this is a David opinion. I have never jived with ARPGs like this. I tried Torchlight, didn't like it. Tried PoE, didn't really like it. played a little bit of Diablo Immortal when it came out. It was fine. And then D4, I did finish the campaign, so like I got through that far. But like, I don't like grindy games, y'all. And I'm a catch David from 10 years ago, and maybe I'll play this shit for days. But modern David, no, thank you. So like this is simply just not a David game, and the seasonal stuff is like that. The way that they chose to do it for D4 is how it's worked for D3 for years. And how it's worked in Path of Exile for years. So, like, the people who play those games, no one expect this. The people like me who are coming out of nowhere and playing D4 for the first time, when they said that, I was like, what the fuck? Why would I? No.
It makes total sense if you are the person who, like, every month is going to spend 30 hours playing this game.
Yeah.
For everyone else, it sounds booty. But hey, guess what? Those are the people who are going to continue to make them money.
Yeah. So
And that's okay.
Here's my question: like, so, like, is your character just like you can never play them again, or
No,
like
you can play them. It's just the seasonal content counts on the character you make for that season, and then you can trade items to your other characters and stuff. So it's not like a huge deal.
Oh,
But-
okay. I didn't know
Like,
that.
level them up and
It's
stuff,
really interesting.
like, you-
I guess
you have
the
a
point of those games was to like
You have
max
the
out a
stash
character.
stack,
That
so I
just,
think you can put stuff in the stash and take it on the other ones. Don't quote me on that. I'm not.
I will say, Bridge, you can hit level 50 pretty fast, relatively speaking.
interesting.
I got really into Path of Exile for like a few weeks, like probably 7 years ago. And I had to stop because the clicking and dragging and shit was bad for my
Fucking
hands.
up your hands. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
will say
yes,
D4
I think I know
very
what you're
good on
gonna say.
controller, by the way.
Exactly. That's
So
that's
good
what I
on
was about,
controller. That shocked me.
that's what I was about to say. Is that has kind of made me want to try it. That and also the fact that it has druids in it. And if you know me,
Hey, listen. It's no Baldur's Gate 3.
Hey,
all
Baldur's
right?
Gate 3 is not yet. At least calm down.
Baldur's Gate 3, I'm quite excited to play a druid in that.
Hey, you can
God.
fuck a bear.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
in that situation, at
insane.
least would be the bear.
It's so cool.
Good point. Or maybe it's not. I don't know.
Decided to show that, like, what a baller move.
They
That's
knew
the
what they
best
had.
marketing.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
knew
best
what they
marketing you could ask for. Like,
Genuinely.
Yeah, but I will echo that again. Just the controls on D4 and even Diablo Immortal, like I played both with controller, feels really good. Like incredibly good.
I've played almost everything I've played. Actually, I've played every second that I have of this game on my Steam Deck, and it's played really well. So
Oh yeah.
shout out to that.
Oh, I didn't know you went down that route. I knew that. I knew you were thinking
did.
about it early on, but yeah, nice.
I did. I looked into how to do. You have to jump through a few hoops, but once you do, it's easy.
I don't know if like this had anything to do with why Diablo 4 did the way they did, but like huge shout to FF14 for saying, no, fuck it, we're gonna make controllers work for games you gotta click 108 buttons. We'll find a way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Honestly, Final Fantasy XIV's like controller is also really fucking good, and
That's what I'm saying.
I cannot play MMOs like with a keyboard. I played the two MMOs I've played the most of are ESO and Final Fantasy XIV, and both of those have fantastic
At least you play
controls.
Destiny every single day of the year.
I was about
Okay,
to say, I'm
look,
you gotta
I mean-
count Destiny. Is that right?
When I'm
Like
talking
traditional
about, I'm talking
MMOs.
like tab target, like traditional
Okay.
hotbar combat MMO
Yeah.
in this sense.
Non RuneScape MMOs, I see. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Somebody talk about a different game. I've got more, but I feel like other people should take over a little bit.
I would like to talk about a game that I don't know if it's quite my game of the year. I haven't decided what my game of the year so far is kind of where we're at. I have like 3 games that are all up there. One of them is a game from the very beginning of the year that I know a very good friend of ours would have at the top of his list. That's Fire Emblem Engage.
I was gonna ask about this because I haven't played it, and I won't.
Oh,
It's Fire
wow.
Emblem.
Fire Emblem Engage, I thought was very good. I don't think it is 3 houses tier for Fire Emblem, and that's coming from like a not a hard, like I'm not replaying it 1,000 times.
Yes,
like any Fire Emblem game. But like Engage. Actually, I was just talking about this with somebody at work today. Of like, you could teach a class in game design of how to make nostalgia modern, And Engage would be on that list of games to show people of like how to make nostalgia modern. Pulling in characters from previous Fire Emblem games and using like making them unique and giving abilities and stuff was a super cool way to do this game. It feels like kind of a best of in ways, in that each of those Emblem maps too are maps from the original games or based on them heavily, at least.
I really do like that feature.
Which was super cool. The DLC characters that they added were like the maps were difficult, or at least way more difficult than the other maps, and still had that aspect to them as well. So like that stuff was super cool. The story was honestly pretty mid to bad even for a Fire Emblem game, which don't always have good stories anyway.
Oh no, the dragon.
Dragon awakens.
Oh no! Now it's a little anime girl.
There's always a dragon or a monster or some shit. But like the story was not great, but like the gameplay in this one was fantastic. Just utterly fantastic. There are a couple balance decisions that they made that I was like, what chapter is it, Pridge, when you run away? That one was an interesting.
That's a tough one because they suddenly just rob you of a lot of what you've been using.
They're like, here's a bunch of mechanics. By the way, they're gone for like 10 chapters now. Have fun.
Yeah, and you just slowly get them back.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's overall I think it's fine, but it does stutter your pacing a little bit.
It was one of those like, oh, this was a story decision. They didn't consider gameplay with this decision.
Yeah, and again, this is one of my. I'll let you finish before I talk about Fire Emblem Engage, because I've also, again, beaten it.
Yeah, so just, this is totally a gameplay pick. Like, it's one of the better Fire Emblems for gameplay, in my opinion, especially in recent times. Three Houses was good, but I think the gameplay in this one was significantly better. And just was lacking in the story and support conversations being as good and stuff like that. I think there's a bit of grindy bits with your home base, too, that I kind of wish they drop some of those, to be honest, from Fire Emblem, but they won't, so I'll just live with that for the rest of forever. But that's pretty much my piece. I do like being able to, and they kept this, like being able to easily change classes for people and stuff is also very cool.
So here's my thing. I don't think they did super well on that, though.
The ability was fine.
I think tying it to proficiencies.
Oh yeah, there was that. Yeah.
I did not like that because it means a lot of your characters don't have great avenues to level up when you only have
that's true.
4 to 6 emblems with you. A lot of characters are pretty much stalled out from any other class but the one they're pre-designed for. I think
you got Leaf, who's just here, has all your proficiencies. It's the only thing he's good for.
Yeah, that was one of the things I actually think the game kind of flubbed on, is that my favorite part of Three Houses was how easy it was to turn anyone into any class. This one hampers that, I think, to a degree that bummed me out a little bit.
I wanted a middle ground, I think, personally, because I thought for Three Houses it was too easy to just swap people to whatever.
Oh no, it's so fun that you could experiment.
But this one, I don't disagree with you, Pridge. The proficiencies being tied to emblems sucked. I wish there was a different way.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I don't know. I'm one of those people who are usually if I play a first run of a game, I'm generally going to keep people the class they're assigned to anyway.
I mean, that's fair. It's just a little, Again, I really did. I did enjoy this Fire Emblem installment. It's middle of my top 10 list, and we'll see if it stays there with still a half a year left of games. But yeah, again, I think the story is bad even by Fire Emblem, even by Fire Emblem levels. I think there's just so much predictability and very by the numbers stuff, obvious death flags, very manufactured emotional moments. But yeah, again, as someone who was very cautious about the emblem system, because I didn't want them to try and do a Switch version of Hero, so I was worried about the emblem system. I actually think they implemented it incredibly well.
That's
again,
good.
Outside of tying proficiencies to it, I actually think the fact that you have the main ones, you also have the smaller rank with other characters from the games that you can still do for stat ups, and the way a lot of the abilities work and the engage mechanic itself, where you sort of get access to the super abilities. All of that ended up being much better, about as good as I could have hoped. Actually better than I hoped they would implement it. So I was really happy about that. well, again, a lot of the character writing is mid. I think the character designs are really good, which is something Fire Emblem usually does a decent job on. I think the characters are funly designed. And yeah, there are some weird balance issues, but I think at least for like the vast majority of the game, the balance works out pretty well. So yeah, again, not going to be near the top of my list by any stretch, and who knows whether it stays in. But this is definitely another really good Fire Emblem game, and I enjoyed playing it. We'll probably do a second run at some point.
Eventually. Elise, what the heck have you been playing?
Yeah, I think my runner-up for Game of the Year after after Zelda is Against the Storm, which I think I talked about a little bit, but not a ton. So Against the Storm is a city builder roguelike.
I do remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, I recall this one.
So I have never really been into city builders that much. I've played, your City Skylines, your fucking Pharaoh, whatever. I always found them very directionless. Never really knew what to do. And then after a while, you're just kind of going through the motions. If you've ever felt that, but you want to like city builders, you should play Against the Storm. Because what Against the Storm is it's like an accelerated version of the first 2 or 3 hours of a city builder, of a long city builder. And then you finish off your little progress bar to win the game. And then you're done. And then you start over.
Ooh, okay. Now you have me. You can finish a scenario and then just go again.
Yeah. And for me, a scenario takes anywhere between an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. But I mostly play with the game in 1 to 1.5 times speed. People do play it at 4 times speed.
Jesus God.
Sickos. Perfect.
And get it done in half an hour. What's really fun about it is every run, it's a roguelike, so every run is different. And every run is different in an interesting way. In that, for one, you've got different events that you find from opening up these shaded off areas that you need to cut through the wood to. And you need to figure out how to do those events. But it's also at certain points on the progression bar, you get new blueprints for new buildings. So maybe you start off with some rocks and then maybe some wheat, and this is all random. But in your little clearing that you start off the game, and then maybe some berries, right? And then you open up a glade that's shaded off, and there's some big rocks. I can't get those yet because I need the better stonecutter camp.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'll come up in your blueprints, or maybe you'll get something that lets you farm better, or maybe you'll get something that lets you make your citizens happier, like a church or a tavern. But to fund that tavern, you need beer and wine. So you need to figure out how to get the buildings to make beer and wine. And it really comes together in that sense of building your supply chain, while also the time crunch of racing for these events, and also the time crunch of the storm is coming. Oh no, I need to survive it, because the game has a season cycle where it's harvesting season, or it's spring, harvest, storm. And the storm gets worse and worse as you go through the years. So the first storm, you're this fine.
Just like global warming.
Exactly.
It's fantasy global warming.
Yeah, but then it's year 7, and all your pops. It's year 7, and all your populations are I hate it here. This sucks. I'm gonna leave. And as your pops start leaving, for one, now you don't have people to do work anymore, and for two, every time they leave, you fill up the loss progress bar. If that hits the end, then you just lose the run.
when are we going to find workers who aren't too lazy to keep working the job? You know,
That's what I'm saying.
even this video game gets it.
Ask SAG. I'm sure they know.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
God.
I'm kidding. I
Hey,
support SAG.
shout out to the shout out to SAG and the Writers Guild for their ongoing strikes.
no comment, hungry man.
Oh, that sucks. You can't do that.
Yeah, I super can't, buddy.
On top of this, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we have one question from chat, one from me. Have you tried Frostpunk?
I did try Frostpunk after playing this game.
Did you like Frostpunk after
It
playing
was
this
good.
game?
It was good. I didn't like it as much as this game, but I did finish the main scenario and enjoyed it.
From me, and it's a little different than your Frostpunks or this game. Have you tried They Are Billions?
I haven't.
So that is a zombie survival city
Yeah.
builder roguelike thing that has like a mission structure to it. So each run is different somewhat. Like they'll change like the resources, the layout of the map, shit like that. But you have an objective every single time that is to like do this, like get to this location or survive X number of days or research to this thing, yada yada.
Ooh, Max.
And it's also like kind of a 40K ripoff.
Ooh.
But like
speaking Elise's language,
but like
here.
we ripped it off and shoved it into a steampunk
Oh, hell yeah.
but it's also like kind of a 40K ripoff.
Yeah, on top of, for Against the Storm, on top of like just being a really interesting strategy game that like keeps you on your toes and like you beat one and then you got some like meta progression for the big city in the middle that where the queen lives, and you got some like progression there. And then you start a new one. You also where was I going with this? on top of it just being a really interesting strategy game, it's also fucking beautiful. It's a really good looking game, and often, like by the end of the game, I just take some screenshots of my city.
Yeah, like that, yeah.
Because I'm like, wow,
I mean,
this
made it
just
onto my
looks
Steam
fantastic.
like follow list now. So
Yeah, I went and just listed it during this. The
It is-
trailer looks
it
genuinely
is
cool.
$30 for an early access game, which makes me a little.
Yeah,
Oh, it's early
it's-
access. I'm sorry.
it's early
apparently
access. It will be coming out very soon.
Oh,
It did drop to $20 recently on a Steam sale, according to my price history thing, but it is currently back up to $30.
I think I got it for like 25 in like May.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, first sale, I'm a big boy.
yeah.
Pridge or me, I feel like haven't given a game for a bit.
go for
Pridge,
it.
do you have a game you want to talk about?
I mean, I got one that I think both me and you can talk about.
Okay, I love that.
Um,
Curious what it is because I don't have one written down.
Metroid Prime Remastered.
Oh, okay. You know what? That was on my short list of like, I'll talk about it.
I'm not going to stick on it for long because it's very much a better looking remake of a game that still outside of modern controls plays exactly the same. But like, yeah, the original Metroid Prime is an incredible game. And
sure is.
with modern twin stick movement and aiming controls, plus a shiny new coat of paint, this is the way it's always been meant to play. It's really good.
It's so good. Like even just landing on whatever the hell the name of the planet is in that game, and having the rain come down in your visor, which was a huge deal back on the GameCube. You're like, oh my god, it's so gorgeous. But even seeing it nowadays is like, it still looks really good. And like all of the atmospheric stuff they add of like scanning the different things in the many different pirate bases and seeing all the crazy, terrible experiments they're doing on like organisms. And you're like, man, fuck the space pirates, you know?
But hey, they're not just pirates. They're pirates with something going on. They got science.
They are
pirates with gumption.
They are science pirates. They really are. But it's genuinely such a cool game. I'm really, really looking forward to Metroid Prime 4 whenever it comes out. But
If it's still real.
Eventually.
this
Do
was
you think this remaster makes it more real?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly shows that this style of game is still incredibly popular. I think they're probably going to do a remake of the other two as well.
If 4 doesn't come out, they will announce that Retro Studios has shut down. Because Retro Studios hasn't made a new game in 10 years at this point, just about. So
They've worked on several that just
just did not come to
out.
fruition.
Yeah.
Just collecting that Nintendo paycheck, baby.
What was the last one they did?
They are.
Tropical Freeze? That was the
Tropical Freeze. Yeah.
Wow.
That was the
Tropical Freeze,
last game?
That's
Yes.
brutal.
think that
which was originally a Wii game.
That's a Wii game, right? Yeah.
I thought
Originally,
it was a Wii
yeah.
U game.
It was a Wii U game.
I know it was remastered on Wii U, but or
No, it was
released on Wii
remastered
U.
on Switch.
Okay.
No,
You're right,
it was.
you're right.
I think it was announced for the Wii, came out on the Wii U, remastered on the Switch.
Gotcha. That tracks.
Let's see.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
no, their last game is pretty fucking
last
old.
game was Tropical Freeze, which came out in 2014 for Wii U.
9 years ago.
And then
Yeah,
it looks
they-
like they did the Switch port in
I can't-
2018.
I can't
Unless
go
your name
9
is-
minutes without producing something or I get
I was
fired.
gonna say, unless your
Oh,
name is
they
like
did-
Rocksteady,
interesting.
you can't make a game for 9 years and
Did
still
they
stay open.
do the
And
remake?
hey, Rocksteady might close after their next game comes out.
Oh, no.
They might have done the
Yeah.
Metroid Prime remaster as well, actually. I thought a different studio
really?
did that, but it looks like they did it. Yeah.
I thought I thought it was a different
Additional
studio
work
handling
from a bunch of other people too, but
okay. They might have had like some people like
yeah.
because I know only like 25% of the people who made Metroid Prime still work there.
I'm surprised
So
that's that was forever ago.
Yeah. I mean, it was forever ago. Also, the working conditions of the original Metroid Prime were
Pretty
so
bad.
bad
Pretty bad.
that like over half of them left after that game came out because it was a nightmare to get across the finish line. But hey, crunch has gotten so much better in the last 2 decades that thank God it's not a problem video game developers have to
Totally
worry
not
about
a
it.
problem anymore. It never happens.
We
Not
did
real.
it. We solved it.
Speaking of older games that got a new coat of paint this year, Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh man, I forgot that happened.
I was hoping I could set this up for you. We could
Thank
do a
you.
little remake. We could do a little remake segment.
I forgot
This is
that
probably
game.
I know this is probably my number 2 for game of the year so far. The original is incredible. It's obviously to this day regarded as, if not the best Resident Evil game, one of the best Resident Evil games, and it's a franchise.
I
gonna say
feel
one
like
of
it's
the-
generally considered
I
the
feel like
best.
4 is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
up there
Top
on
two.
best games of all time.
It is.
Too.
It is
Like,
also the game that invented like third person perspective, shifting immediately to like right over the shoulder, like with a crosshair, which is wild to
God
think
bless
about.
you.
Yeah, it's so good, and the remake is so good, and they changed the perfect things. Like, there's no longer weird clips about Ashley's ballistics, meaning her boobs,
I didn't know
because that was a line.
didn't
Yeah,
know that
originally
was a
in the
thing.
original
Fuck.
game, Luis. At one point, he's like, "Oh, I see." He's like, "I see the president's daughter comes equipped with her own ballistics," and it's like, "Shut
Oh,
the fuck up, video game."
no.
Which, hey, if you're going to make a joke about the president's daughter's boobs, that is the one to make, but maybe just don't make the joke.
and like before you could like if you like got her going up a flight of stairs or like going up a ladder, if you looked up, like she
Oh,
would
you
make a comment.
Got some
And
Meryl
yeah,
moments.
you could
Yeah.
look at her. Yeah, it's straight up a Metal Gear Solid like Meryl moment. But like they got rid of that shit. They added like better story for some of the characters, like better just writing for so many things. And hey, it's still Resident Evil. It's so good. And they have like good twists on like, oh, this boss like does like a one-hit kill move, or like this boss in the original game you have to kill in this way. And no, in this game you have to like completely do an entirely different trick to kill it. And like that's just like a fun bit for people who have never played it, and it's still exciting for new people. It's genuinely fantastic. It's one of the few Resident Evil games that I actually went after I finished it and started to do like a replay on a higher difficulty, because it adds lots of like fun skill things. And every time you beat a Resident Evil game, like you unlock alternative costumes. So I got like the Mafia Leon outfit. I was like, that's fun. And I was like, oh, if you beat the game on the hardest difficulty with like under a certain time limit, you get Catboy Leon. And I'm like,
Oh, nice.
yeah, I would love to get Catboy Leon.
Do you,
but
do you
no,
get him
no,
in
no.
like a clown outfit or something, like a penguin suit?
I don't think there's a clown. There is him in a knight suit.
I'll take that. Yeah,
Ooh,
something
that's
for.
pretty good. That's
They-
pretty good.
Yeah,
Resident
yeah,
Evil
there's
always
some-
has some good alternative costumes.
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
forget
they're
Tofu.
I mean, the tofu. Yeah, the tofu is like the famous thing. But no, it's so good. I loved this game, and playing the remake of it was just a blast. And it also has like a really good horde mode which I would never fuck with in a million years, but the combat is genuinely so fun. And the Horde mode has like 10 different individual characters you can unlock and play as, like including some of the like mini boss characters, and each of them actually play different.
Wow, that's really
which
cool.
is insane.
Wild.
Like you can get like the guy who trained Leon, Colonel something or other, and he has
Campbell,
like
of
a
course.
knife.
Oh.
No, it's not. He has a knife that like does bonus damage and can do like special counter moves that do damage back. And like, it's like y'all didn't need to go this hard on it. And the fact that you did is like genuinely impressive. So shout out to you on this one, Capcom. You keep doing good things, and I'm happy about it.
Capcom Renaissance going on right now.
They really are. Like the last 3 or so years have just been fantastic.
Good for him. Good for him.
Happy for you, Capcom.
Speaking of
I was gonna
Capcom,
see, there it is. Okay.
Hey, fighting games are good again. They saved us from the Street Fighter 5 and 4, and I didn't even hate 5 that much. Street Fighter 6 so good. Street Fighter 6 so good. It's just, I definitely think over the last like probably decade in fighting games, they have become a thing of like, we are a competitive fighting game or we are a for fun story mode fighting game, and that's it. Like you don't get to have both. And then fucking Capcom kicks the door and then says, guess what? We're a very good competitive fighting game. And also we have an entire story mode that is like 80% dick jokes. Let's go! It's great. It's just a good ass fucking game. And they really did. I cannot believe I'm saying it. Of all companies, Capcom managed to really nail like the line between we're doing a silly, goofy character creator run around bunk Yakuza story mode. And then we also made a legitimately good fighting game that this thing is wrapped around.
Chris, did you continue to use the scientific, like,
The Ghost Child?
Ghost Child of Hell that we made on stream?
I used it for a little while and then got annoyed with it and switched back to it because honestly, it makes looking at the game a nightmare.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
There are people that beat the whole game as like Cronenberg monsters, and I'm like, how? Because like sometimes they'll be standing and they're just in the way of what is happening on screen because the way they are shaped.
Yeah.
It's very good. I don't think anyone else knows about Street Fighter 6. The game's very good. Also, music, primo.
Speaking of music, though, a game I don't know if any of you have played, Hi-Fi Rush, baby.
I did play most of it.
Sophie losing it.
It's on my list. It's on my list to play before year end.
Same.
Yeah.
I
Played like 3 hours of it.
I fucking love rhythm games with a passion. I sometimes fuck with action games depending on the action game and what the combat's like and all that jazz. Hi-Fi Rush, a surprisingly good combination of those two things.
The
which
anti-Forspoken.
should not work. This game should not function. Like, I should not want to hit buttons in rhythm to do action things specific to music that is playing in the game. That doesn't sound enjoyable. It's fun as shit. And I don't like, everything is to the beat. Your dashes are to the beat. Your parries are to the beat. Your attacks are to the beat. Everything is to the beat. Game, the animations are to the beat. The world is to the beat, which is absolutely fucking insane. Like, trees, walls, people, everything is moving to the beat of this game, which is incredibly fucking difficult to nail, and they absolutely killed it. I think the only thing that they didn't nail is movement outside of combat. There's some really weird platforming sections in this game.
There's a lot of platforming
There's
sections.
a lot of platforming sections in this game. Platforming in this game's not good.
I heard there are like Beautiful Joe platforming sections.
Yeah, they're not
Is that an
good.
accurate
They're
comparison?
it's been a long time since I played Beautiful Joe, so I don't remember. They might not be that bad, but they're not great. And even Soapy dropped a mini review in the chat, and the first thing is platforming is lacking, but it breaks up pacing. And it does break up the pacing. Pacing-wise, the platforming sections fit. They just kind of suck.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. But the combat's fantastic. Like hitting to the beat, the combinations that you can use and unlock, tagging in people to help you and like increase the power of your combos and affect enemies who are like immune to different things or weak to different enemies. Yes, Soapy also based track list. It's very good music tracks to this game. I think one of my only other complaints is like I typically tend to play much higher BPM songs in rhythm games, so it was a little bit difficult for me for a while to get used to like normal BPM songs for a rhythm game. But like it's really good. And yeah, even the DMCA free version is quite good on the track list.
I played a good deal of this. I probably played like half, 2/3 of it. And like everything you say is very true. It's so pretty. It has great music. The combat's great. Platforming is all right. I love like all the characters. For some reason, I just did not want to keep playing it. Like I would play like a level and I would have no drive to play the next level.
Oh, I wanted to play this game real bad.
Yeah.
I did fall off a bit at the end, but I did come back of just like some of the stuff at the end. There's just a lot going on. It's like, okay, parry this, dodge this, parry this, and it's just a lot to take in. And so I took a break, came back, and it was not that bad afterwards. But Soapy, there is a midpoint of the game. Have I tried the update? Not yet, Soapy. I know they added like higher BPM songs in the update, so I might go back and play some of it with like the challenge mode stuff. So I do, yeah. Soapy's like 200 BPM. Yeah, no, the 200 BPM is what I like, Soapy. Give me that. Give me that shit.
What I wish is... Oh, sorry. What I need to do is honestly get the game, just buy it on Steam so I can play it on my Steam Deck. But it's the thing where like because I have Game Pass and it's on Game Pass, folks.
It is.
I'm like, I can just play it for free because I'm already paying my $10 a month for this. But I just don't want to buy it again. But I should buy it again because it's a great game and
it's also not full price. I think it's like $40.
I think it's only $30.
Oh, 30? Yeah. Which is honestly, I'm surprised it's that cheap for how good the game was.
And I think, I'll look it up right now. I mean, I know during a Steam sale, I think it was cheaper. So, it's $30.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ways to augment how you play too. Soapy mentioned like the specials and like augments and upgrades and stuff. So like you can change which abilities you upgrade, augment, which lets you like change your play style to the way you want it to. Which I really like. Unlocking more of those slots was kind of rough. Required a lot of currency, which I didn't get. So I got like maybe one extra slot. But that stuff was good. Story was good. Characters were good. Oh my god, Corsica, thank you. Love Corsica, she's the fucking best. Just everything was great in this game. Everyone's named after food and shit, which I don't know why they did that, but it worked. Like main character's name is Chai, which is just
I played a game where everyone was named after food.
Chai is cool. Soapy also said that Chai reminds her of me, which
kind of does. He's a
doof. He's a doof. He's a lovable doof. Which I'll take.
This guy looks like a cartoon Jason.
I feel that too.
Yes.
I feel that too.
Looks more like Jason, acts more like Zach.
Yeah.
He can finally take over YouTube.
Implying that because Zach looks like Zach, he can't do it.
Yeah, that's the only thing holding him back.
Fucking dig. Anyone else have anything that's like at the top of their list?
Yeah, I'll talk about a game I know Zach has played because he recommended it to me.
I think I was going to bring this game up, so perfect.
Wo Long.
Yeah, Fallen
Dynasty.
Literally, as you were talking about Hi-Fi Rush, I went on to Games Pass and was looking at it, and then I was like, I should get Wo Long because it's on here too.
Yeah,
so you should play Wo Long.
Hey, pitch me this game right now.
Okay, so Wo Long. Do you like Sekiro?
It's my least favorite Souls game, but go on.
What the fuck? Okay, so Wo Long is created by the developers of the Neo series.
I like Neo 1.
Okay.
And it's basically
I like Neo too.
Okay.
It is a Souls-like but it's like level based. You go through the level and it's set in and then you fight a boss or whatever. And it's set in the Three Kingdoms era. And
So if you like Dynasty Warriors, oh boy.
it's also published by Koei Tecmo. So
Yep.
Yeah.
the things I like about this game is the combat is really fucking good.
The combat is the best part of it.
It's not quite like Sekiro levels, but it's very much focused on like they very much basically took the Neo combat and added like Sekiro style parries that you need to like and basically a momentum meter.
Which is really cool. It's such a cool system.
Yeah, it like starts in the middle, and as you get like parries and hits and like red parries, where it's like the attacks that you can only parry and not block, that like shifts in your favor. But oh no, if you get hit or you let them
keep
recover,
blocking,
it'll shift in their favor, and then you might get fucked. It's absolutely just a really phenomenal combat system that you need to give a shot.
When the momentum is in your favor, you can spend that momentum to cast spells, which is really, really interesting. Of like, okay, you have to like vary the combat with your spell casting. Of like, okay, I made a couple parries, now I can cast like Thundaga on these people essentially. And also honestly, like the way the exploring the levels works, because it is level based, and the levels are like decently large, fairly linear experiences. But
there's a ton of like nooks and crannies to
for sure, and
find yourself in.
The really cool thing that I think is so interesting, that even if none of this sounds fun to you, like you should check it out at least just to see the system, is how it does like leveling up and like finding flags on the map. Basically, there are, depending on the map, a certain amount of flags. That is your, I don't think it's your level cap. I think it's part of your level cap, but also your maximum, or what your minimum level can be.
Yeah.
So say you come into a level and you have like some crazy high thunder level spell that you've like leveled your character up to know. You can't use that spell until you're level 5, say. So you have to
in that specific level
either beat enough people or find enough flags to get yourself to level 5. Then you can start busting out the crazy shit. And all the levels are kind of paced to make it so you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But like, also, if you die, you reset to like the level cap that you have with the flags that you have. So before you get to the boss of the level, you're like, all right, I want to find as many flags as I can. So even if I fuck up, I'll only lose like 1 level maximum before I can just hop back in and fight the boss again.
Yeah, I think the way it works is like it's basically an experience system in each level, where it's like you start at level 1. As you keep going, it's like enemies will do less damage and you'll do more damage. But the level, as you progress the level, those enemy levels will go up with you. But what it's really good at is, for one, encouraging exploration, because every time you find like what is basically the bonfire, which is the big
they hide
flags,
these motherfucking flags too. Yeah. Like some of them are in
tiny flags. That'll raise like your minimum level. And as you're exploring, you're also killing more things. So you're raising like your current level as well, your current like morale. It's also really good at fucking. I make it to the end of the level. I'm like, shit, I forgot some things. I want to go back, and I do not want to slog through the beginning of the level again.
It doesn't matter because you're crazy busted now. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm at morale 20, which is like the highest, and all these guys are like morale 1 to 5. So I can grab the stuff in the beginning of the level that I missed without slogging through it.
There definitely are some like Dark Souls bullshit of like the game does not explain itself well at all. I highly recommend watching a YouTube video to be like what you should know, because it just doesn't fucking help you at all. But like the combat is genuinely so enjoyable. And like the way you can spec your character is very fun. Of like it prioritizes the 5 like Japanese elements, so like earth, water, fire, electric, and metal, or wood and metal. I think it's
wood and metal. Yeah.
Yeah, and like each one of them is like, oh, this gives you more health. This gives you like better parries, whatever. But it also specs you into like, oh, you can learn a water spell if you get to like level 5 water. you can get to you can learn crazy metal spells, which will like augment your defense or like make your sword more busted or like whatever it is. It's very cool. There's way too many fucking inventory items. You're just constantly discarding shit because you get too much. But like,
yes, yeah. The loot system in this game, if you've played Neo, it's basically the exact same as the loot
I was
system.
gonna say that sounds a lot like Neo.
It's the fucking worst. It's bad. It's really bad.
It genuinely is. But God, the combat, it's probably the best combat of any game I've played this year. So like,
Well, it's on Game Pass,
and it's on Game Pass.
In the period of you guys talking about it, I've downloaded 28% of it. So big
ass game too.
I will say,
it's only 44 gigs. Really not that big at all.
That's true.
I definitely had
file size wise
of my fair share of problems with it. The story, if you don't know Three Kingdoms stuff, is genuinely
luckily I do know
incomprehensible.
Three Kingdoms. I played a lot of Dynasty Warriors games.
I played 2 Dynasty Warriors games, and I got to this game, and I was like, man, maybe I don't know shit about anything.
There is like no connective tissue. You just like arrive in a town, and it's like, and then it's like randomly, and it doesn't tell you this, but randomly, it's like 4 years in the future. And you're in a new town.
The storytelling is so bad.
It's really bad.
Straight up at one point, I guess the point that got me back in, because I was like, what the fuck is happening? It spends like...
Lu Bu? Did Lu Bu attack?
Yes, David. Lu Bu does attack, and he's an incredible boss fight.
Did you pursue him?
I pursued him to hell.
You must not pursue Lu Bu.
I've learned one thing from Dynasty Warriors: you do not pursue Lu Bu.
Straight up, they were like, "Here's 7 like levels that are all about the Yellow Turban Rebellion," and I was like, "Man, I don't fucking know about them very much or care about them, whatever." And then it's like, "Here's Lu Bu," and I was like, "Oh baby, I'm fucking in."
So, really, really super quick Dynasty Warriors story. I used to play them when I was a kid, and I was like, "Oh, these are cool." I didn't know shit about anything. I just picked them up when I saw them. And then I got to high school history class. We learned about fucking China, and we started learning about the Three Kingdoms period. And I was like, "I know this."
I thought you were like, wait. This sounds a lot like that video game I played. Like, having no idea.
I have read 1.5 of the 4 books that are the Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Of course.
We had to read the first one, and I went, Jesus Christ, this thing is dense.
Yeah, but it's honestly really cool. If you
it is good. Yeah, I can see why they make so much fucking adaptations of it.
It's a fascinating string of tales.
I've played a few campaigns of Total War Three Kingdoms, and that's all my Three Kingdoms.
Oh, okay.
Which Lu Bu is also terrifying.
On top of the story being absolutely incomprehensible, the worst.
Terrible.
You know the landscape that's like nuclear waste, the spikes, littering the landscape. That is the difficulty curve of this game.
Yeah,
it's like the first boss is legit top 3 hardest bosses in the game. Like
I have heard that. I've heard that.
He was fuck you hard.
And then like the next 3 are like I got them first try.
Yeah.
And then you get to like Lu Bu, and Lu Bu's really, really hard. Lu Bu's a pretty good fight too.
He's fantastic. Genuinely great boss fight.
And then like the next 4 bosses are pushovers. And I think the last like 5 levels, I didn't die once. The last like 5 levels of the game, I think I died once to the final boss when he grabbed me, and then and like the pre-final boss, I never died. The pre-final boss, I never died. Like after a certain point, it's just the difficulty curve in this game is all over the fucking place.
Yeah, and it's wild.
Yeah.
To sum it up, this game is like so much rough stuff crafted around what is the best combat system of the year so far for me.
Yeah.
And that makes it a hard recommend, but if you're into this combat system, then I'm like, you owe it to yourself to check it out because you will enjoy this.
And also you should probably play Sekiro.
We talked about Final Fantasy 16.
I'm sorry.
Well, hey,
no, I beat Sekiro.
Zach and Elise
like
have very strong feelings about Wolong. I haven't finished Final Fantasy 16 yet. I still got probably a good chunk of time left on that thing.
I went back after this and played like a good deal with Neo 2, like probably 2/3 of that game, and that is a long ass game. I did not click with it nearly as much. Like I fell off it. I was like, this is just okay.
I only have one other game I want to talk about, and that's my biggest disappointment of the year. So whoever wants to talk about good games. No, Jedi Survivor. But
I have some small ones I want us to do like a sentence each on. So if anyone else has any big ones, we can do that. Then if we want to do a round of like rapid fires,
I've got a tiny one. I
got a rapid fire or two. Yeah.
I have one biggest surprise of the year. Actually, maybe second biggest. Hi-Fi Rush might be the biggest surprise. Yeah. Dave the fucking Diver.
I was about to say it. Yeah.
Dave
good.
the Diver came out of nowhere from my perspective. It had apparently been in early access for a while.
Never heard of it until it released.
Never heard of it until it released, and even that, it wasn't from marketing. It was from people being like, "Yo, Dave the Diver fucks. Where did this game come from?"
You,
and I'm
you
like,
literally bullied Vic and I until we bought it.
I did. This is an accurate statement. Dave the Diver is a game that I probably shouldn't like, but I kind of love.
Yeah, it's so many things you hate in gaming.
It is, but like, they're just done in a way that I don't hate, which is
cards. Is it a roguelike?
It's a roguelike.
It's not really a roguelike.
No, it is a fucking roguelike.
The world's not like changing drastically each time. It's weird. Like, you're not starting from the beginning each run or whatever.
It's a roguelike. Yeah. You get upgrades in between.
Yeah, well, and it's not even
the world and the map changes every day. That's a fucking roguelike.
It barely changes is the thing. Like almost unnoticeably changes. But so Dave the Diver, what Dave the Diver is? Indie game. You're a diver. During the day, you dive. You fish.
Actually, your name's Carl, by the way. It's just really weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Fuck, they'll call you that.
But during the day, you dive. You spearfish. There's a bunch of fish. You catch them. There's a bunch of like little quick time events to catch some of the fish. It's fun. There's fish that attack you and becomes like a combat game. Excuse me. And then there's like actual like bosses and shit that happen too that have usually puzzles around them to try and figure out how to beat them. Some of them are cool. Some of them are not fun. I've had both. And then at night, and there's also a whole fucking narrative happening with like merfolk and weird shit going on that I haven't finished this game yet either because I'm splitting time between it and Final Fantasy right now. And then at night, you run a sushi restaurant with the best sushi chef ever named Banjo.
Banjo's great.
Banjo is the fucking best. Best character of 2023, hands down, easy. I don't have to think about it.
Whoa.
I don't know about that.
I don't have to think about it. He's the fucking best. And some of the best animations like in a pixel art game that I've seen in forever.
Yes, agreed.
But like at night, you're running a sushi restaurant, so you're taking the fish that you caught earlier in the day, you make sushi out of it, you can upgrade and like enhance the sushi that you make by like doing tests with it basically. So stuff gets better. You got to deal with like wasabi. You got to like serve your patrons at first just like green tea, then beer.
It's
and
Diner Dash.
Other stuff. Yeah,
it's Diner Dash.
It's a cooking game, which I like cooking games, so like that's great. And then later they throw in a fucking farm, and they throw in a fish farm.
Oh, what?
Oh shit! I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
There's a bunch of shit in this game that just comes out of nowhere. There's like photography in here too.
What?
This game has so much shit, and they just keep adding things. I've been playing this game for probably 15. Actually, let me go to Steam. How many hours?
Do they got games on their phone too?
Yeah, literally, yes. You have a phone. It's your menu, and there's games on the phone. Like, not a joke. I've played this game for 20 hours, and I keep unlocking shit, and I'm just like, they can't keep doing this, but it keeps happening. They keep adding more things.
Getting away.
They keep adding new cooking mechanics. They keep adding. You get like VIPs who come into the sushi restaurant too, who are like, "Oh, I want this specific dish," and you gotta go get like those specific items to make the dish and stuff. Some of them are rare. Some of them introduce like the farm and things, and a bunch of them are like based on real life people. There's fucking ace director Michael Bang, which is incredible. He makes Robot Samurai, the movie.
Yeah, it's incredible.
They do, when you give VIPs food that they love, they do like Food Wars style animations.
They do a Food Wars animation, yeah.
Like, this game fucking rules. I love this game. This might be my game of the year.
Wow.
There's a guy who makes you your weapons who is described as a nerd virgin at one point.
Yeah.
Wow.
He like literally you phone him, you're like, I want a gun upgrade, and he's at his desk fiddling with guns with a fucking anime figure girl
With his
in front
anime
of him.
waifu figurines. Yeah.
And
That's
he
really
he even
funny.
has like a transformation sequence for one of the freaking animations, which are beautiful. It's great. The story is like weird but funny and entertaining, and also might be global warming related. I don't know. I'm not that far yet. Like shit's happening. There's also stealth sections. I know you aren't there yet, Chris, but there's fucking stealth sections to this game. There's chase sequences a la like old school Crash Bandicoot
good?
and stuff. Generally, yes. Which is like all of these things that are in this game.
yeah.
It sounds like there's too many systems, because there are, but they all
work.
like actually work pretty well.
Every system in this game is the perfect amount of basic and refined, where it's like they took a simple system, like the mini game the restaurant mini game is basically just a diner dash, like not clone, but it's a very similar concept. But they change enough about it and make it streamlined enough that it actually still works and feels like its own unique like segment.
And you get employees too. Didn't mention that. You get employees in the sushi restaurant that you manage and like train, and the employees have special abilities too. Like every system in this game is both like superficial and deep at the same
Yes,
time,
Zach.
and they all magically work together in ways that I'm just like, this game should not fucking work, and I should not like this game, but I do.
Okay.
I was definitely to the thing of like, this isn't gonna live through the hype because people want you to fuck up about it, but it has got lived to the hype.
And even like the roguelite stuff, there are points in the game where you get shortcuts, so you don't have to keep going through the base stuff to get to the later stuff, which if you did, I probably would not have kept with this game. But even even without them, those parts you can literally, because they're just fish. Even the ones that attack you can just keep swimming. So like you just swim and you ignore things and you get deep. Basically, the progression's based on depth. So like you just swim past them, go deeper. Not a big deal. You don't have to like waste your time doing a bunch of stuff. So like, yeah, this game fucks. This might be my game of the year so far.
Wow. Okay. Damn.
I have a game that recently got an expansion this year, so I feel like I can talk about it at least a little bit.
To Destiny.
Is this Destiny 2?
It isn't Destiny 2. I'm not going to do my Destiny hours here. We'll have to do the Destiny hour at some point, but not here. Dead Cells.
Oh, right. Is this the Castlevania expansion?
Yeah.
It is the Castlevania expansion.
You like to play Castlevania.
87 on Open Critic, motherfuck.
Yeah.
That did real good.
So after Against the Storm, I got like really into just all the different roguelikes. And I tried a ton of them. And the one that came out on top is Dead Cells. Dead Cells is the best roguelike, in my opinion, bar none. It is just a fantastic like action game. It's a 2D platformer, like with Castlevania style. People have called it Souls-like style. I see the comparison.
You got dodge rolls.
You got dodge rolls. You got your Estus Flask. You got your parries. It is, I think, the only roguelike that I've like repeatedly finished runs on, and like kept on upping the difficulty. I haven't beat 2 boss cells, so I beat one of the extra difficulties. It's really hard. Like it took me like 40 hours to get my first completion. Now I can get one pretty much every run, but on the first like difficulty. And the Castlevania expansion itself is like it's pretty much like 2 new areas and a new boss fight. The new boss fight, like final boss, is Dracula, and it is like a 2-phase.
That's awesome.
It's a 2-phase. Like first he fights you in his human form, and then like he looks like you killed him, and he drops loot, and you know you get your soul, your cells and shit, and then he comes back as like the big demon, big demon like red Dracula guy, and it's fantastic boss fight. They also added like the castle and the first boss fight, which is Death. which is like a replacement for one of the first bosses in the game.
That's awesome. The death's in the game
you can go
too.
to.
Also, man, what an awesome use of Castlevania shit where it's like, yeah, we're doing a Castlevania expansion. The final boss is obviously just straight up fucking motherfucking Dracula. That's awesome.
I don't want to talk about this game too much, but if you like roguelikes, Dead Cells is the best one.
It is like a 7-year-old game at this point.
It is, but it recently got this Castlevania expansion, and I recently played like 60 hours of it. So.
I
don't think it's 7 years old, but like it's like 4
That
or
sounds
5
about
years
right,
old.
yeah. It was out when I was in college.
2018,
At least
2018.
2018, yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing it in early access and really digging it, and I put like 40 hours into it then. So
I played it in early access, and then I didn't play it again until like this year.
Yeah, the official release was 2018, so it might have been early access like long before that.
gotcha.
Yes.
You wanna
The only
do
thing I want to talk
shout-outs?
about is Jedi Survivor. Biggest letdown of the year for me. Love Jedi Fallen Order. Love me some Cal. Love me everybody in that crew, which this game does bring back, and you get to hang out with them again. Time has passed, so things are different for them. It does an interesting bit with the story with them. But man, oh man, there is like 15 hours of this game that is just so nothing. You're just doing nothing. And the main quests are boring and the side quests are boring. At one point, they introduced a whole side mechanic of gardening, and I kid you not, I was like, I bet this isn't very exciting, so I'm going to look up what are the rewards you get from this. And if you care, spoiler alert, but you get nothing for doing this. Literally not a thing. Just one tiny area of one part of the map on one of the planets looks more colorful. So why would you do this? The answer is you shouldn't. It's dumb. I don't know why they kept it in the game. It just... And to its credit, I finished it, and after 20 hours, there is a part in the story that genuinely brought me back in and made me say, "Ooh, that's a good twist. I like that." And then it was good. It definitely doesn't hold a candle to Jedi Fallen Order.
Wow.
So if it's on sale, check it out. But also, I had a shit ton of bugs. I should say that.
And if Gun can't improve a game, what can?
I never, and that could be on me too. I didn't fuck with a lot of the different
like the new
styles.
stances,
Yeah. You get, I think, 5 of them, and I think I used 3 ever. So,
what do you get? The gun.
You get 1
dual.
You get dual. You get double-sided. You get sword with gun, and then you get the like cross guard one that what's his fuck has. And, Adam Driver has.
Adam Driver, yeah.
Yeah.
God, what is that character's name?
Kylo Ren. There we go.
Ren.
There you go. I was like,
It's taking me a while too. I'm like, come on, David.
If you ask me to name anyone that isn't Rey Star Wars from that fucking like sequel series, I'm just shoot me because I'm dead. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Ray's last name should have been
I
Freak.
remember Babu Freak.
I want to talk about this game so bad with people, but like, yeah,
I would have jumped in already if it weren't for how bad the bugs have been. So
Yeah.
straight up, there is a moment in the middle of the game that everyone is like, that was such an incredible sequence. And I had like a breaking thing in the middle of it that I had to like reset and lost like an hour to get up to that sequence. And then I was just like, I don't care. And it also like,
that was my experience with Jedi Fallen Order. So like I get it.
I will say also they do add more traversal stuff, and there is a point in the game, David, where it basically becomes 3D Celeste. And I was like, David would like this
In a good way.
Oh, I've seen clips of that on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
So
if that game's ever stable, I'll pick it up. But man, like I had so many bugs with the first one. Like I don't want to do that again.
And I played it on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. So
And that was supposed to be one of the better platforms to play it on.
yeah, which is why I was so cheesed about it.
I absolutely love the first game. So like,
Me too.
I've been wanting to play it. I was super looking forward to it, but I'll play it when it functions.
This just push it way down on my to be played list.
Wait till there's a sale, and then check up and see what people are saying about it now. But And the thing is, it could just be me because a lot of people are putting it on their short list for Game of the Year too. So
I've heard.
I don't know.
The narrative I've heard is just like there are people who the bugs matter more to, and they don't put that on their list. And there are other people who are like the bugs were bad, but didn't like affect how I experienced the game. And I'm like, you're wild, but okay. Respect.
We'll say also, David, there's a character that everyone loves called Torgal, who is voiced by Chaboy, who voices Raz in Psychonauts.
There's also a dog named Torgal in Final Fantasy
I know
16.
It's unbelievable that the name Torgal got used twice by two characters this year, and everybody loves both of these characters. It's just incredible.
Hey, one of them's Turgle.
You're right. Turgle and Torgal.
Torgal and Turgle is the exact same as Goots and Goose Everson, both being a thing in 2023, which to me is even like more buck wild.
Every time,
like,
man,
it's a similar character and also has a stupid ass name with goo in it.
every time I hear Torgal, which is frequently in Final Fantasy 16, I think of Torgo. Any of y'all watch Manos in the Hands of Fate, MST3K?
Oh god, like a million fucking years ago.
Yeah.
I just think of that dude, and I'm like, I can't remove that from my brain.
Yeah, it's insane.
I literally thought that's what the dog's name was before I turned the subtitles on.
Before we do any sort of like segue off, anything else that's going to come out this year that you think could?
Wait, I thought
so many games.
I wanted to do rapid fires.
You have more to go for? Yeah. I thought we were
I didn't get to do any of my rapid fires. We were talking about a game that Zach doesn't even like for 10 minutes.
Sorry.
Get him.
All right. I got just like, again, I'm only gonna take a sentence or two about all these. But one, Path of the Midnight Suns. Really great game. We got to experiment with it. We got on the Steam page for it. For an indie debut, does a lot of things incredibly well. Inspired by
Indie debut?
Huh?
Oh wait,
Like debut indie game. Yeah.
I was thinking the other Midnight Sun.
Oh, you were
Yeah,
thinking
they got fucked on that one.
you're thinking Marvel Midnight
Marvel Midnight Sun.
Oh no.
Yeah, the Firaxis game.
Outer Worlds, Outer Wilds.
But yeah, Fire Emblem inspired, but its own unique combat system. Really good game.
And visual novel.
Two, the sequel to a game no one played that also no one played, Fuga, Melodies of Steel 2.
I've been meaning to play that.
Is an incredibly niche an incredibly niche turn-based game that no one played but is actually really good. The sequel is a lot of the same, maybe too much of the same, but honestly still really fun.
Oh, it's furries. I'm out.
What's that? But Chris, you can literally use a 5-year-old as human ammunition for your death tank.
It's also
I'm back in.
Don't let Vic hear this. Kind of looks like Dragon Quest Rocket Slime, which
I feel that.
3, Humanity is a really unique game we tried out.
Dog game.
Really cool
that.
puzzle game. Really cool physics-based puzzle game. I need to play more of it because I was doing too many puzzles in Tears of the Kingdom that I didn't want to do another puzzle game.
Makes sense.
But yeah, really cool aesthetic, really cool physics, bad music, but otherwise is really fun.
Worst music I've ever heard in a video game.
Yeah, really dropped the ball on the OST. And then on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, I'm not very far into this game, but I'm really enjoying Cassette Beast so far.
Nice.
It's a Pokemon Light with really, really cool designs and a lot of other really, really cool things going for it, and an incredible soundtrack. Again, can't say too much more because I haven't gotten that far into it yet. I want to play it like 30 times, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm pumped to play more of it.
Heck yeah.
I'll give like 2 shout-outs. Or I guess 3 technically. Humanity, Pridge mentioned it. I platinumed it. It was a good game. Enjoyed it.
Oh
damn.
shit.
Nice.
It was a good game. Plan of Lana, which we played on stream. That game was fucking good.
Yeah.
Pretty
Solid,
relatively short indie. Yep, exactly. That's exactly what it is on my list too. A good A out of 10. And the last one, also high up there on shockingly good games for this year. Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh
Yeah.
Well done, game.
Incredible,
Genuinely great.
great game.
great.
Shockingly great game. Might be the best Sonic game. Like, I mean, the bar's low there,
Unironically,
but
yeah.
like unironically, it might be the best Sonic game.
It's really good. It's really good. My quick shout out is Brotato. It is the best Vampire Survivors like of 2023.
Wait, sorry, what is this game called?
Brotato?
Like potato, but it's a bro.
Okay. Okay, sure.
If you want me to elaborate, I can, but I feel like me just saying it's the best Vampire Survivor like of the year, you know what that means and the weight that comes with.
It's got potatoes in it, apparently.
It's incredible. It's so good.
Yeah.
I have genuinely played like over 20 hours of it. So check it out. And I keep unlocking new things. So it's great.
Nice.
Mini shout out from me for Like a Dragon Ishin, remake of the not feudal Japan, Meiji era Japan Yakuza game. It's probably the best, like, we're trying to make a Yakuza game difficult they've ever done, where the boss fights are actually hard. And, you know.
Were they?
A couple of them, yeah. Hey, look. Yakuza games are fucking easy. So any of them that have actual difficulty is appreciated.
Like a Dragon had harder bosses than an Ishin.
Like 7 does. But that's because it's not a traditional Yakuza game. It's a fucking JRPG. It's a lot easier to make it harder when it's a JRPG than it is to in Yakuza fighting style. Other games that are good and happened. Not a good game, but I want to talk about it anyway. Atomic Heart. I was really excited for, and then didn't like even a little bit.
Yeah, the press for it was so bad I didn't even check it out, and like I was the
Zach
audience.
Zach was simping for that for years, literally.
Yeah, I was as well, and I ended up not even touching it. I do have Game Pass now, so maybe I'll give it a try at one point. But yeah,
play like the first like 2 hours while you're still in like the main hub area, and if you don't like it by then, get out because it's a lot more of that.
Fair enough.
Any other shout-outs?
I think we've talked about like all the games that came out this year that I played. Actually, hold on. Crab Champions. Which...
No.
Yeah, no. Actually, I got this. My friend got me this for my birthday the other day.
This looks awesome.
Yeah, we should actually play it. It's
This is made by Noisestorm.
What is this? What is this game?
If you may know,
Crab Champions.
If you may know, Crab Champions. If you know Crab Rave, it's the guy that made Crab Rave made a roguelike, and it is legitimately actually really fun.
Yeah,
it's an early access now. It's definitely an early access game, but like. You hear that and you think, oh, this is just like a meme. You look at it, you think this is just a meme, but you play it and it's like, wow, this actually like is really fun to play.
Oh man, I expected anything but that.
No, we gotta do a stream. This looks awesome.
Oh yeah, I very much expected anything except for Crab Champions. That got me real good.
Yeah. Sure.
Claws up indeed, Chris.
But for real, it's good.
Do we want to I don't want to go too long in the tooth, but do we want to talk about things we're excited for the rest of the year?
More along the lines of anything you think actually could be like Game of the Year.
See, that's the thing.
The
there's a
one
lot on my list.
There's Spider-Man 2. There's Spider-Man 2, Armored Core, and Sea of Stars.
Oh, and Silksong, but you know.
And hey, genuinely, here's hoping that Starfield is the game.
Oh yeah,
Starfield.
If Starfield really delivers on its promise, it will probably be my game of the year.
I don't even know, but like, what? I don't know if my computer needs to be upgraded, so I don't know if I can even play on this fucking thing, and I don't have an Xbox.
Carl said Angerfoot, and it said, "Oh, it was delayed." I'm like, "Yeah, Carl, you know it was delayed. You had to drop it on your fantasy league."
He can't drop it on his fantasy league because someone counterpicked it.
Oh.
Yeah.
After the Armored Core 6 like stuff started coming out, I went and played Armored Core for Answer, and that game fucking rules. I've played it like 3 times because it's actually really short.
Yeah, it is.
It's a really short game, so you can just play it over and over.
So it's fun.
I'm so excited for Armored Core 6. And one we haven't mentioned yet, Liza P. which got a demo.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Timothy Chalamet,
that game's gonna be okay.
Bloodborne.
Timothy
Pinocchio game.
Chalamet's Bloodborne. That's an incredible line.
I mean, the main character is just Timothy Chalamet.
No, but I like the way Lee said it, as if it's his video game. Timothy Chalamet presents Bloodborne.
Did y'all see how bad that Wonka trailer was? Sorry.
Oh yeah, Super Mario Wonder's also coming out.
Yep.
Yeah. Lies P got a demo that's just like the first 2 hours or so, and y'all should play that because it's.
I've heard very good
really
things.
surprisingly good.
Man,
demo.
by the way, demos. Oh god, I'm loving the demos are back and good.
Yeah.
For real.
I played the Lies B demo. It's good. It's definitely not going to be anywhere near Game of the Year.
Okay, great. That's all I needed to hear.
That's fair.
Yeah, chat
two
mentioned
ones
Super Mario's
that-
Brother Wonder, which,
There's also a Mario game coming
There's a
out
Mario
later this
game.
year, which is
to be
wild.
fair, the 2D Mario games have not been
No, yeah,
like
those
Game of
don't
the Year
win.
worry
Those don't win
in a
Game of the
long
Year.
It'll
time.
be fun, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be very fun.
2D Mario fucking sucks.
Shut up. please.
Okay, well,
It's for children. We can't do this.
None of the
Campfire
recent
Night
ones are
brings
that
up
great.
Pikmin 4. That's also true.
Not
it's
a Game
week
of the
from
Year
tomorrow.
game. One indie
tomorrow?
that
No,
I think
21.
A week from tomorrow.
one indie that I think could
Comes out in Barbie
be up
Oppenheimer
there
Day.
is Viewfinder. That game looks fucking incredible.
It's not gonna get Game of the Year though.
Based on previews, it might. People
It
are
could
fucking hot on
It could
that
be on a
shit.
short list. It could be on a short
Is
list.
that the camera game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should play that.
Right,
I am going to
yes.
play that, Chris. So it's fine. It's
No, we
coming
should
out
stream
next
that,
week.
I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
know. I can stream it next week.
I hear you saying.
Another one.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's
Fuck a
Gate
bear.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Fuck a bear in that game.
Fuck a bear.
What other game that comes out this year says you can do that, huh?
Nobody.
Baldur's Gate 3
Nobody has the fucking
it's been an
balls to
early
say
access.
that.
Access for like what 5 years it's been in early access, something like
Not
that.
that
I
long,
have
but
no idea.
it's been at least a
Fucking
few
forever?
years. Yeah, it's been at least a few years.
Zach, Mina the Hollor.
Does this
Yeah,
have a
it
date?
does come out this year.
Oh, it's got a 2023 next to its name. Doesn't fucking have an actual date.
Yeah.
Same with.
Listen, we
fucking
want to talk
Hyper
about
Light
other
Breaker.
things that, like, say,
That's-
2023 that aren't confirmed yet.
Yeah, listen.
Little
Yaakov-
Guardsman
Yaakov is not
that
known
we
for hitting
played.
Their, deadlines, so that tracks.
Little Guardsman up there. Gunbrella looks super fucking good.
God, yeah, I hope it
haven't
comes
played
out
the
this year
demo.
so bad.
I want Gunbrella real bad.
yeah. Fucking Yakuza Gaiden is November 9th.
Yeah, that was the other one I was going to mention.
That'll actually hit, I'm pretty sure.
Like a Dragon
Yeah, well,
Gaiden,
they
the
do
man
that
who
today.
erased his name, which is such a cool
Best
fucking
title of
name
the
for a
year.
video game.
Literally no one subtitles a game like the fucking Yakuza studio. No one can do it like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be Game of the Year, but I'm looking forward to Thirsty Suitors and stuff too. I don't think it'll be in that conversation. But
Nah,
and
it'll be fun.
same for like Little Guardsman.
Goodbye, Volcano High won the Tribeca Festival Award.
The Scalies are out in mass, losing it in the streets of Tribeca.
God damn it.
I mean, I do think it's gonna be it's gonna be a good game. though.
Hideo Kojima was there.
in a Godzilla suit.
That tracks.
Sure. I'm also excited
I've been-
Star Ocean remake in November, which is the same
Persona
days.
5 Tactica.
That's gonna be
God.
probably mid, but we'll see. I'll play it.
Yeah, but it's gonna be day one
I
Game
played-
Pass, so we're gonna be playing
played a
it.
game of
Hey, there you go.
It's true.
Me, Wes, Jason, and Zach will be probably all
What?
playing it.
How
Jason-
dare you exclude me from that?
The idea that Jason would be
Yeah.
there is very interesting because he hates anime.
Well,
But
loves-
everything he loves is anime.
Yeah.
But he loves Fire
his,
Emblem.
his lifeblood is Fire Emblem, which is just
Jason's
anime.
And
just a closet
Pokemon
hentai
and
enthusiast.
Danganronpa. Like Jason loves anime, but he won't admit it, and it bothers me.
Jason's just a closet hentai enthusiast.
Well,
It's fine.
Jason, like me, just likes cartoons and hates anime.
Okay, well,
Yeah, save
Folks.
data bio
I
backer.
played a game of
Chris.
Endless
Which I'm about to
Legends.
push in a meeting. Go on.
oh Christ.
Folks, thanks for tuning in to another
Endless
episode.
Dungeon is coming out this year. as
I'm
well.
excited for Endless Dungeon. God, that could have been
So
fucking
many
development forever.
games. I can't.
I thought
take
that
this
already
many
came out.
games.
No, that's a different Endless.
No,
God damn it! There's
so many of those.
How can
fucking
there be
games.
so many endless games?
That studio names their games poorly.
It's fair. It's fair.
Square Enix?
Hey, you leave Theatres and Final Barlight out of this.
And Project
that's the
Triangle
game of the year.
Strategy and
That's the afternoon of the year. Jokes on all you guys.
Harvestella.
Didn't it come out last year?
No, it's out this year. We should play it.
Let's do it. Fine. I don't care.
I did play the demo.
Who's
for
buying
like
it?
an hour and a
Not it.
half. It was fun. That's it.
Folks, thanks for tuning in to another Save Data Cast. Those are the games that we think are going to be up on our Game of the Year so far list, as well as games we're looking forward to for the latter half of the year. There's a lot of fucking games coming out this year. Like,
It's been an incredibly good year.
unreasonable amount of games to expect people to play in a year. Come on, Game Studios. Gee, spread it out.
Yeah, game studios take more time and work your employees less.
I want games that cost less, pay employees more, and have lower scope. And I mean it.
Make less money.
Thanks for tuning in for real,
State of
though.
America unionizing too.
Oh yeah. Sega America. That
Or
office
agreeing to try and
is
unionize. That's going to take forever. It is.
that office is very close to me. And my roommate, former roommate, used to work there. Good folks. Folks, that'll do it for the Save Data Cast. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back a bunch this weekend, right? Elite Beat Agents and Professor Layton coming out this weekend.
Yep. Saturday and Sunday in the afternoon. So get hyped for that. Genuinely, if you can, please show up for the Elite Beat Agent stream. It's going to be absolutely bonkers. I love this game so goddamn much.
We stand rhythm games here.
I'm so excited to play it.
I should play OS on stream one day. I need to get good at it again.
Again, I now have a drawing pad, which is perfect for playing these games.
Oh, and I'm a psychopath. I use mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Bro, she gotta.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in. Until next time, Zelda's not Game of the Year?
Good night.
Ding, ding, ding.